saying that if we're really independent, we don't need anyone, and we can conquer these emotions, and we're able to deal with life challenges and prove that we can stay independent, that is something that we look up to and go, wow, look at them. But eventually, if you keep doing that, you crash or burn out, or you go into depression. Hi, I'm Rupda, and I want to talk about this piece around independence, or what I like to say, fierce independence, because some people are really identified with being uber independent. We've glorified it in our Western culture today, saying that if we're really independent, we don't need anyone, and we kind of can conquer these emotions, and we're able to deal with life challenges and prove that we can stay independent. That is something that we look up to and go, wow, look at them. But there's a price. There's a big price in this. And I know it for myself as an entrepreneur and someone who's doing this kind of work since childhood, the mid-70s. When we go into that hyper independence, that fierce independence, and we've made it look like it's the place we've always wanted to be, it's really at its core a trust issue. Because think about it, if I can ask someone for support and for help when I feel vulnerable, shaky, scared, unsafe, that means I need to trust. It also means that I have a willingness to open, to let somebody in, let somebody really in that intimate space with me, be vulnerable and be held. And for some people who are very identified with being fiercely independent, that's a no-go zone. We just don't go there. It's like man up or chin up, and we continue going, and you override these states of feelings that you have. But eventually, if you keep doing that, you crash or burn out, or you go into depression, or you go into a very mistrustful place, believing no one can really be there for you, or no one can really hold you. But it's what we're creating by becoming fiercely independent. It's the belief that we've created, that we have to do it on our own and we can't depend on anyone, because to depend on someone means to trust. And maybe in the past you had painful experiences of asking for help or depending on someone, and they've dropped the ball, or they didn't show up, or you got disappointed, and that wounding has created this independence armor-like protection that says I won't ever ask for help or let myself be vulnerable like that again, or I'll do it on my own, or I can't really rely on someone. When we have that strong messaging cemented inside of us, it keeps us at distance with people, and it keeps us on a certain level of mistrust and believing that people can't really be there for us, even just one person, on a deeper level, where we can really be vulnerable and let them into that intimate space. So if you recognize yourself as someone who's really independent, or identified with it, or glorifies it, or wears it like a badge of honor, and then you can also recognize that actually it keeps you in a certain separation and in a mistrust, that people can't really hold you, or you can't really depend on people, or you're waiting for someone to disappoint you. You're scared of, you're gonna lose that sense of safety. Then this is really for you to look at, because if we get too identified with this place, you won't give yourself permission to soften, to be vulnerable, to open up, to let someone really in, to trust. Doing life from an armored place, a protected place, versus doing life from an open place is a completely different quality of life. When we can really let someone in, we can let love in, we can let life in, and it's a much more deeper sense of joy and connection than if we feel like we have to do it on our own. So have a look at that in yourself. If you can really identify the super independent, the fiercely independent person inside of you, and if that's the way that you want to do life until your last breath. And if you want to do differently and start to really open up to trust and letting people in, then it starts with you making that decision and starting to take steps towards listening to this part inside of yourself that feels sometimes shaky, scared, alone, and needs support. And what you do from there is really important. and who you reach out to, and having these uncomfortable conversations of I can't do it on my own, or I need some guidance. And if you're really struggling with this, because some of you have done this for so many years, it's all you've known, join me in a retreat that we do that supports people in this, and start to experience life from a more open, passionate place. And it's more connected to your authentic self, because you let yourself be seen. You don't hide parts of yourself. I would love for you to do this step for yourself, and if you can't do it by yourself, then I'm happy to support and help. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please share.